And welcome to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook. You guys can head on over to The Real Level Up. That's The Real Level Up on YouTube. And welcome everyone. Welcome to our Love Month, February. That is our Love Month. Not only that, we're going to be highlighting a lot of our heroes and sheroes for Black History Month as well. So we have a great show lined up for you as always. You know, I'm saying that each and every show, because every show is a great show. Well, who we have in the studio by way of Blue Jeans, because we are still being COVID compliant, we have the Loveologist in the studio. Hello, Miss April. Welcome to the show. What is going on with you, girl? Oh, look how beautiful she looks, you guys.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
Oh, girl, I am doing fantastic and so honored that you are here with us today. Now, we've got Mr. Scribe that will be soon joining us, but we're going to wait until he pops in on the screen because, this is one of our favorite subjects of all time. We're going to talk about love, you guys. We're going to talk about love because, like I said, February is our love month, and I'm so excited that Miss April is here. I'm going to tell you guys how I met Miss April. I have recently joined this new app called Clubhouse. And so many people have been telling me about Clubhouse for over a year. Well, I joined maybe about 3 months ago. And, it's amazing how this app works, you guys, because I tell you, people kept telling me that, Angee, it's a way that you can meet some wonderful people on to get them on the show, to have them talk a little bit further about what they do. And in walks April. I'm like, who is April? I've been in a few rooms with April, you guys, and I'm telling you, on this app called Clubhouse, I have met some incredible people, and April is one of them. April, thank you once again for, just accepting our invitation to be on Level Up. What we're going to do, I know you've been talking to my crew in the background, but we're not interviewing. This is not an interview, April. This is a conversation, and the reason why I asked you to be on our show for Love Month, because you have so much wisdom on this subject. Not only that, I can tell by your eye, just how you were sharing with so many people in so many rooms, April, about love. Not just about interracial dating, but you guys, she is a world of wisdom and displaying love that I had to have her on the show, you guys. I had to have her on the show. Mr. Scribe, I'm telling you, you're going to be in for a treat with this one. You're going to have a lot of questions now that she got a lot of answers to. What do you have to say? We can't hear you. You're still muted.
So I was having some technical issues with trying to get on. I don't know what was going on today, but just talking offline with April, what she shared and the fact how she listens and things like that. I know she's going to bring a lot to the table today, and I'll probably end up learning something that I didn't know.
Listen, okay, I'm 50 something. Just celebrate a birthday, and I just wait. Let me stop there. Let me spread a little bit love, April, and spread a little bit love based on people on Facebook mainly. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. I am so floored that people are still wishing me a happy birthday a week later. But I am humbled and floored, you guys. Thank you for all those birthday wishes. Mr. Scribe knows that I actually celebrate my birthday a couple of months. But not only that. I am the biggest football fan in the world. So I have convinced my husband to hold off any celebration until Super Bowl Sunday. So that's actually when I'm going to be celebrating. Why are you shaking your head, Mr. Scribe? That's when I'm going to.
I'm a big sports fan also, and the Super Bowl is one of those sporting events that I've been looking at since, I don't want to give my age away, but let's just say I've been looking at the Super Bowl since like Super Bowl 5 and 6, and we're up to what, 50 something now.
Yeah,
I kind of gave you a little bit.
It's all good, Mrs. Scribe. We're going to talk about the love of the sport, but the love for one another. April, before we go to our first break, can you just give a little introduction about yourself for our viewing and listening audience?
Well, let me just start out by saying thank you for inviting me to come. Happy late birthday. And ladies and gentlemen, I am April, the Loveologist. I am an author. The title of my book is What Your Mama Didn't Tell You About Dating. I also have a line of journals over on Amazon, and I'm a certified dating coach as well as the creator of the Authentic Love Academy on Clubhouse, Instagram, and Facebook. And that's me.
Hey, what I tell you, Mrs. Scribe, I mean, she is a powerhouse when it comes to this thing called love. Let me tell you guys what you ought to do. I tell you to do it each and every Sunday. This time, do it for real. Hit that share button. You don't want your family and friends to miss any part of this show, you guys. The main thing we're going to have is fun. We're going to have fun on this subject, but we're also going to be very open and honest about this subject as well, because we're more about just information, but we're more about motivation and inspiration. We're all about, just leveling up so that we can go higher. Well, listen, guys, we're going to go ahead and take our break, but let me tell you something about our breaks. Our breaks, we're always featuring our independent artists. So in the comment section, only on Facebook, we will put in their information. So all you guys have to do is just click on and find out more about our artists. Okay. So you guys check that out as we feature our artists on each of our breaks. But you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
That she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss. That she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord, her lip gloss poppin' that she love the Lord. Hey, woman's not what she wear, but what she know. I know in the end where I'ma go. I dress top notch with my praise don't stop. My lip gloss pop, but I love it a lot. This new life, God takes me as I am. I'm living on purpose, no apology for me. I'm wearing this crown, dressed in my holy gown. I am a queen, heir to the golden throne. Beautiful face, beautiful soul, looking into the eyes of the window. Poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Hey, woman's not what she read or what she know. I know in the end where I'ma go. I dress top notch with my praise don't stop. My lip gloss pop, but I love it a lot. Bedrooms, my skirt fitted and my makeup hitting, but I preach on platforms, my heart warm, clergy confident, my praise be hitting, unique and different, break tradition, pull up in the woods ain't finished, he will finish, do good work, he started from the beginning. And my stilettos on premise, rap like I'm gift-giving, my gift should be given, just as easy in these Yeezys, outreach reaching out to the streets, when it's cold and breezy, bring my friends like my name is Phoebe, I got me cat bands and Timberlands, get your man's evangelist, could use a hand to evangelize, I realize my name should be Evangeline, cause I sympathize with others' needs, where there is no sympathy, although I love the finer things. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Her lip gloss poppin' and she love the Lord. Hey, woman's not what she read, but what she know. I know in the end where I'ma go. I dress top notch with my praise don't stop. My lip gloss pop, but I love it a lot. Church fan music. That's
I had the pistol in my hand, cocked, and it came on 107.5. You don't want to walk with me? Yeah, I'll walk on by myself. You saved my life, bro. I'm just telling you, bro. You saved my life.
I've been rejected way too many times in my life. I won't take no for an answer anymore. Seems all these walls been erected to stop my dreams, yeah. But I won't let that be a factor anymore. If you won't stand with me, if you won't go with me, I'm gonna go on by myself. If you won't fight with me, if you won't believe with me, I'm gonna walk on by myself. I've got this burning fire deep in my soul, and I can't escape this lonely, lonely flame. My journey may go down an old rugged road, but I keep on pressing, 'cause I'm not afraid anymore. If you won't stand with me, if you won't go with me, I'm gonna go on by myself, yeah. If you won't fight with me, if you won't believe with me, I'm gonna walk on by myself. I can see clearly now. Finally, I open my eyes. Yeah, my future's my responsibility. Now I realize that if nobody helps carry my cross, I still gotta go on. If you won't stand with me, if you won't go with me, I'm gonna go on by myself. If you won't fight with me, if you don't believe with me,
Nothing excites me more than to see children read the books that I illustrated and helped bring to life. You know, it's the process from start to finish, and you know, at the finish line, you see the children smiling and excited and sharing the stories with other children about, you know, an image or a book that they read. Another thing that gives me joy is working with new and upcoming writers, people who have all these stories that they want to tell and, you know, things that they want to share with the world, you know, just like, you know, me wanting to express myself as an artist and, you know, share my expressions. You know, people are doing the same thing with their stories, and to help, I feel like I'm helping making their dream come true.
What's wrong with my body?
My name is Kelly Bryan, and I am the face of a type 2 diabetic. I am also the author of a book series called Numbers that is available on Amazon. The series is about how I use the low-carb diet lifestyle to get my numbers in non-diabetic range. I am living proof that it is possible to go from a 16.6 A1C to a 5.2. So let's kick type 2 diabetes, one number at a time.
It's your girl, Dr. Monique Frazier, owner of Prestige Decor and More. Let's level up on Sundays. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Dr. Crystal of Kaleidoscope Counseling Center. Level up with me and Angee from the B. Every Sunday.
Hey guys, vibe with Mr. Scribe on Level Up.
Hey, this is your favorite mental health therapist, Sylvia Franklin. I want you to level up with the internet radio show that's broadcasting to the world. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook. Did you know that you can head on over to The Real Level Up on YouTube? Yes, we are broadcasting live simultaneously on YouTube as well as Facebook. So just want to welcome back our esteemed guest, April, the Loveologist. As you guys know, this is our love month, the love month of February. So I am so thrilled that you have once again accepted our invitation, April, to just really talk about this subject. You know, some people like to shy away from the subject, but then there are some people that embrace this subject. So we may have people on both ends. So we're going to carefully walk down this subject matter. But before we do, what we want to do is set the tone. So, Mr. Scribe, are you ready to help us out in Scripture?
Yes, I'm ready because I knew you was coming with it because we didn't go before the break, so I was preparing myself because I don't want April. I get demerits if I don't do what I'm supposed to do. So I'm not trying to get demerits today. But and this so happens that the scripture, it was right on my phone. I didn't have to look for it or anything. It's Matthew, the 22nd chapter. I'm going to read from the 37 to the 40th verse, and it reads, "And he said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment, and the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets.
Oh man. Well, April, as we start out the show, most of the time, sometimes we fail to do it. As Mr. Scribe was saying, we should have done it earlier before the break, but we try our best to incorporate the Word of God before we get started with the show. And the reason why I say that, ladies and gentlemen, because it is my belief that God is love. So with the Creator, the the one, the only, Abba Father, if he is love, that's where, I'll say for me, that's where I am really trying to understand and know what love is all about. When I first met and heard April share what she shared in not just about her research, but April, what I found in you is that this is not just about a job that you have, but I saw the passion that you have for this, and that's why I asked you to come on our show, because we are always looking for people that go beyond the work of anything that we do, but it's actually all about who we are. And I say all that to say, because with God being, God is love. It is who God is. It is everything about him that is about love. So I am in constant, I'm a constant student about love. And I am not going to sit here and say that I know everything about it, although I've been married for 26 years. But it's not, I don't look at love just in my in love relationship with my husband, but I'm looking as for my sons, as a mother, as a daughter to my mom and dad. So I go beyond, just looking at love outside of just husband and wife and even dating relationships. But what we're going to do today, you guys, we are going to speak with April regarding dating. And then I don't know, April, if you want to go beyond that, but I love your background. I love what you talked about in that clubhouse, in those clubhouse rooms about dating, and you had such poignant information that I wanted to share with our audience here at Level Up. So for those who just joined us, April, can you just kind of recap who you are, and then go right into the first subject, the first thing that came to you, and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Why did you just begin to dive into dating, and then into interracial dating? What was your heart behind all that?
Okay, well, you said to recap who I am. Well, I'm April the Loveologist. I'm a certified dating coach. I'm an author. I'm also the creator of the Authentic Love Academy on Clubhouse. And what my focus is to assist people who are interested in interracial dating, so that they can attract that person that they've been looking for years, and they can say, I do at the altar. What got me into just dating basically was because I had been single for many years, and riding down the street one day in my car, I just had this kind of tantrum that I couldn't control, and about being single and doing things alone. And then I immediately declared, I want to be married again.
Wow.
So after that, I said, oh, but you haven't dated in a long time. Dating has done a 180-degree turn without you. You need to learn about dating today. So that led me into studying, researching for myself.
Okay.
But as I began to learn, what got my attention real good was that I learned so much stuff that I said, if ladies that were in my age bracket knew what I know, they would not be holding themselves, or shall I say, buried in grandchildren, church, and work, and they could have the man of their dreams, okay, if they knew what I knew. And I was like, oh. And then at that time, the date coaching industry was booming.
Okay.
And I was like, that's an avenue for me to be able to share with people. Now, what got me into the interracial part was I actually dated my first Caucasian guy in my late 20s.
Okay.
And so, and then to fast forward a little more, I had lately gained this little habit. You can call it a good one or a bad one. But when I go to drive-thrus, I've worked in retail in the restaurant business before. So when I go to drive-thrus, one thing I know is the person in the drive-thru has had a bad day. It's just, okay? Or they're going to have one this evening. So I try to do something just kind of silly. Right. And what I do is they'll say, do you, would you like something else? They'll say, are you done or can we get you something else? And I say, 6'2", 205, light skin and curly hair. Well, one day I was just walking through my house and that just kind of came out of my mouth without my control. But here's the deal. Immediately I heard a loud voice say, you know, that's a white boy, right? And it got my attention. And then I remembered when I dated a white guy, I do not, let me just, put this disclaimer out there. I do not bash black men. No. In my clubhouse room, we do not bash black men. That does not happen. Okay? But like I said, I was walking through the house. This just kind of came out of my mouth. That got my attention. And at that point in my thinking, I was like, oh, let's go and explore that some more. Let's do that some more. And then I really got to thinking and I was like, well, in business, they would say, if you want a different result, you have to do something different.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, it's not like it's totally brand new to me. So I did something different. And actually, when I was married, I actually married a guy from Ghana. Not that he was Caucasian or any other, shall I say, light complected category, but that was also different from dating just an African American man.
American man.
So that's what got me into the interracial, and then I began to learn about it, and I was like, really, people kind of got all of these ideas about it, and they're just wrong. So that's what got me.
Wow. So I want to piggyback on what you were saying, that even in your 20s you were open to it. And what I want the audience to understand is that there is a reason why we're having a talk about it. But I will tell you this though, as I'm watching Generation Y and even Generation Z, they don't discriminate. They really don't. It kind of starts with the latter years of Generation Y and then on up. And I really feel like it was due to our surroundings and how we grew up and what we saw on television and what we saw in other media. But I will tell you this, because in our age group, they are our kids, the Generation Ys and the Zs. They're our kids, and I don't have one handy. But if you look at a cell phone, and if you understand the access that these kids have around the world, they are, I hate to use the term, they're more worldly, they're more world focus or awareness than we are growing up, simply because of that smart device. These kids can have, their minds are open to Scribe because they have access around the world. I have a nephew that have friends that are in China and doesn't think anything of it. He's like, they're just my friends in China, So naturally, he is attracted to Chinese women. My nephew.
Okay.
So, you know, when we talk about interracial dating, automatically, you know, most of us in our age group, we're thinking black and white. But these kids they date the rainbow. My son, go ahead, go ahead.
No. As you're talking about that, my son was dating an African American girl in high school, and she broke his heart. And you know, he had graduated from high school and went on his way. When we came back together again, when he turned 21, no, what happened was we gave him a 21 when he turned 21 birthday party. And what I noticed was, because I hadn't seen him in a little while because he was with his mom, all the girls, all the women that was at the party were Asian. And he ended up dating a girl from Laos. She's from Laos. And I didn't think anything about it. I love her just like I love anything. And like Angee was saying, that the fact that their minds are so open. And then the other thing I wanted to add, look at commercials on television.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed, I'm 63, and I noticed what the commercials looked like back in the 70s, how it was definitely one side or another side. But I see commercials all the time where you have, you know, you'll have interracial couples, whether it's selling insurance or a love commercial, because, you know, it's Valentine's Day, they're doing the jewelry commercials. Oh, yeah. They just had a commercial with an interracial couple where he's proposing and they look happy and everything like that. So things are moving as far as the media. They're recognizing it's going, yeah, we got to open up and do some different things. We can't be in this narrow box that other folks that want, but you still got some folk out there that want that box to stay around.
You know, one of the thing about, you know, as Angee was saying about the different age groups and stuff, I'll tell you some things that were said to us when we were younger, and not just baby boomers, but whatever the next generation down is. One of the things that was said to us and not said to us was, don't you bring no white boy home. Don't you bring no white girl home. And a lot of people, that is so ingrained in their heads that they refuse to try to move beyond that wall.
Wow.
And I've run into it quite a bit. But those are some things that we lived with. And then a lot of people are like, well, they did this to us and they did this to our ancestors and they did and they did and they did. And so they're stuck. And in the dating arena, you have to be open to receive love in whatever package the master sends it to you in.
Ooh.
Or you could be without, or some people become grumpy or whatever else you could say. But you have to be open to receive it. Though, you know, we claim we are Christians, right? Yes. So we have to be open to receive in the package that God sends it. And that without that, you are definitely hindering your ability to have the love that you desire. Because it might be a package you're unfamiliar with.
Because Angee was saying that at the beginning of our show. She said, what? God is love. She didn't say God is black love, God is white love, God is African love, God is South American love. God is the love in general. And as you just said, April, to be open enough to understand that, wow, if love comes in this form, and that's what God sent to me, why not be open to receive it? And here we go. For me, it goes again, how man has categorized and tried to manipulate certain things to meet what he feels what we should be doing. Man thinks we should be doing this. God says the world is open to you because I blessed you and put you here to open your mind, open your heart, open your spirit to deal with all these different situations. And man is the one that limits you, like you just said, April. Right. And I've heard that. I've heard that too. Not really from my parents, but I've heard that. Don't you bring so and so home. Don't you bring. It's like watching the movie with Sidney Poitier. That was something. I was so amazed.
Wow.
Not just by, well, the subject of the film was amazing to me as well, but then the time that it was done.
Yeah.
That was unheard of. You had on screen, and there was an uproar because I read behind the scene oh, we can't have this film made. This film is not going to, and the pushback that it got, and like you said, people's mindset getting stuck in, all the different stories that I've heard just through social media. The couple that was in Mississippi and the time that they had by wanting to be, and that was in the rural South back when folks was getting, we know what was happening back at that particular time, and the danger that they put themselves in because they loved one another. It was a life and death type of thing because they were treated in a way where they could taken her away or taken him away, and that's love. When you would sacrifice that shows you, and that's the kind of love that God has for us, that He sacrificed His Son. So it's a similar type thing.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about how they love themselves, the lovings, how they love themselves so much to be put in jail and go through all of that. When you're in an interracial dating relationship, you've got to have that love and that bond so that when the outside influences come, but see, this is also the same, whether it's an interracial or a what I call traditional relationship. That bond has got to be there so that when those outside influences come, you can handle it together. And when it's an interracial relationship, it needs to even more because, you've got to look out for each other for safety. Whereas in a traditional one, you may not have to look out for such things as much. Wow. And so that is one of the reasons that helps a lot of interracial relationships stay together for a long time because they work on that bond. That bond in some ways might even be forced because of outside activity.
Wow.
And it brings a new level of love to your relationship.
Well, listen, we got to take our break, but before we do, I wanted to get in Miss Sonia LeRae, who is watching us by way of Facebook. Thank you so much, Miss LeRae. I want to get her comment in. She said, April is such a positive and motivating person that welcomes you to have an open view on dating. Not only that, her second comment was, yes, unconditional, no color, no limits to possibilities. Thank you so much for your comment, Miss Sonia LeRae. And also our diamonds are in the house, Mr. Scribe. Miss Mary Gooseby says good afternoon, as well as our other diamond, Doris Walker, is in the house as well. So you guys continue to bring in your questions and comments as we are talking with Miss April, our Loveologist. Over in our YouTube, we've got the Confident Shift Training who says loving this conversation. Thank you, Miss Starlight Diva, for bringing in on your comments on our YouTube channel, where we're going to go ahead and take our break, you guys. When we come back, we'll have more conversation with April, the Loveologist. You're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Don't worry, no. Don't worry, no. Don't worry about nothing. Just pray on it all. Don't give up on God. He won't let you fall. The road may seem dark, but nights can seem dreary. It's dreary, yeah. He knows you're not perfect. Now with this thing called life, you'll go through some ups and some downs, but in the end you gotta stand, you gotta push, you gotta fight, you can win. God said all things are gonna work together for your good, but first you ask, and then you wait, pump your brakes, leave it in His hands. Have patience through the test, stay the course even
should know that he said they cannot stand. They can't stand because you were called and chosen to be the chain that someone needs to pick them up, give them strength, but you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient, patient. The road gets dark, the nights get dreary, night get dreary. You're not perfect. See, the enemy, he comes to steal, to kill, and destroy. But my Father said he'd come to give you life and peace and so much joy. I know that the road seems hard. See, I've been there myself a time or two, but I promise it will pass. Just let patience do what it do. Be patient with yourself. All the pressures of life comes to make you strong. The one thing that pressure does is it creates a diamond that once was rough. All your trials are just a test to shape and mold you for your testimony. You gotta go and walk it out. Wave no white flags, don't give up, but you gotta be patient. Gotta be patient, yes. Be patient, be patient. Don't worry, be happy, yes. Have patience now. You're not perfect. Eyes haven't seen, nor have ears. They haven't heard all the things that my God has prepared. The things that God's prepared for you. Just be patient. Don't worry, be patient. Don't worry about nothing. Just pray on it all. Don't give up on God. He won't let don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Always think dark. He won't let you fall. He won't let you down. He knows you're not perfect. Don't you worry. Pray on it all. Don't you give up. Don't give up. You can't give up. No. It's so hard. It is dreary. I know. You're not perfect. No.
Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul. My spirit rejoices in you. What about all the people?
I waited patiently. You turned to me and heard my cry. You rescued me from sinking sand. Now there's a song in my mouth, a melody of harmony with words from the heart, as we all do our part. Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul. My spirit rejoices in you. my brother. I hold your arms up when you're weak. I listen when you speak. Never hold you back. I'll meet you where you are. Giving all we've got. We'll walk in unity. Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul, my spirit rejoices in you.
Now can you hear me? Don't you fear me? If you can hear me, please come near me. Can you hear me? Don't you fear me? If you can hear me, please come near me. Can you hear me? Don't you fear me? If you can hear me, please come near me. Can you hear me? Don't you fear me? Please come near me.
I won't harm you. I'll never turn my head away. I'll lift you up each and every day. We'll take each step on that road, building heaven here on earth for all mankind. A life with dignity. Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul, my spirit rejoices in you. Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul, my spirit rejoices in you.
What about all the people? Can you hear me?
Hello, my name is Rodney Damon Collins. I'm an actor, producer, author, and speaker. I'm excited to share my first book entitled Shattered, A Journey Through the Pieces. I wrote this book because there are millions of people like me in this world who are searching for purpose while navigating emotional distress. This book is for anyone who wants to be the producer of their own life. The reader will be encouraged to know that if they, one, keep God first, two, learn how to make peace with the pieces in our lives, and finally, three, never deterred from your dreams, that you will see your purpose fulfilled. I love you, and go grab this book on Amazon.com, Shattered, A Journey Through the Pieces.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you come home, darling, I'm every woman. It's all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. Everyone from A to Z.
This is Nolan Holloway, aka Mr. Scribe. Just letting you know that I have 3 books of poetry that's available on Amazon.com. So when you get a chance, go to Amazon.com, look up Nolan P. Holloway Jr., not Mr. Scribe, and pick up one of my books for your enjoyment. Peace.
In every way, let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right. Oh, when you speak,
Get inspired and motivated with real talk that takes you higher, like me, April, the Loveologist at the Authentic Love Academy. Level up Sundays from 3 to 6 p.m. We're just ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Yo, level up, real talk that takes you higher with your boy Mike Jeezy.
It's Dr. Robert Frazier, CEO of SIP Educational Consulting, and it's time to level up.
What's up? It's your boy Fred Jones. Let's level up on Sunday. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook. Did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up on YouTube? Yes, we are doing a simulcast on Facebook as well as YouTube on this live show. Now, let me let you guys know that next week we will not have a live show because I am the biggest football fan on this green earth. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be sitting in front of my big screen TV watching the Super Bowl. People, yeah, I know. I know. And because my co-host is of the male persuasion, he is probably doing cartwheels, flips, and anything else he can do. Because you know what he has been saying to me every once in a while? Angee, I must love you because every Sunday I'm missing my football game doing Level Up. He loves us, you guys. Let's get right back into our conversation with our loveologist, April, in the studio by way of Blue Jeans. And if you guys missed the first half of this show, you missed a treat. Because as I was telling you guys how I met Miss April, my goodness, she was this beautiful spirit. Love her voice, for one thing. And so it's an audio app. So I'm looking at this beautiful smiling picture and then hearing this beautiful voice talk about love and dating. I said, I got to meet her. I got to meet her, you guys. So she has a wealth of information regarding dating, and her specialty is interracial dating. So we've been having a very great conversation regarding interracial dating as we are learning with Miss April. So Miss April, I had a question I was just burning and itching, wanted to ask you before we went to break. So I'm gonna ask you now. So I remember in our first segment, you had talked about that you were dating outside of your race starting in your 20s. Now, April, I see a little gray in your hair. So it's a little bit. Just a little bit. So I know you're not a millennial. You're actually Generation X. So I want to say that our generation, I'm part of Generation X as well. I want to say that our generation really, began, the interracial dating thing with some of us. I'm not going to say most of us. When some of us, without the blessings of our parents and even the people around us. Now, for us who are Black, our main concern is our safety. When we're dating outside the race, it was all about safety. And I'm not going to say for all white people that they weren't concerned about safety too, because some of them were. But for the most part, they would be concerned about their reputation. So we won't go into any of the ugly part of that, because we all know that interracial dating has had its ugliness. But what I'm loving about our young people, as I said in the first segment, they are dating the rainbow. My youngest son, I didn't get a chance to say this, but my youngest son, he hangs around a lot of Latinos. Now, if you look at him, you probably think he is, because he's a very fair skinned, curly head. Well, there's your curly head, 6'2" young man. But some people think he, as he's hanging with his friends, they think that he's also Latino as well. He's just a very fair skinned African American boy. Well, man, I should say now. But as you were going through it, though, April, when you made your decision to date outside your race, how was that? What was going on in and around your circle?
Well, let me start with this. Actually, I'm a baby boomer. So that makes me a little.
She said, "You ready? I'm not."
Yeah,
Go ahead, April.
you
You
know,
don't know now.
a couple more strands of gray hair. The thing is, at that time, and I'm sure it has happened and may happen to anyone, but at that time, I was not trying to find someone from a different culture.
Wow.
And this is how it happens with a lot of people, is that I met a guy. We had many things in common. As a matter of fact, our professions were similar. He was managing a jewelry store. I was managing a clothing store.
Wow.
And this is something that a lot of people, let me just say, they don't know, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to romantic relationships, the important things are that you are treating each other well. And in the marriage realms, they might say trying to make each other happy, but that you are treating each other well and that you have many things in common. You don't have to be a clone of each other, but having a lot of things in common. So as we communicated, we found that we had a lot of things in common, places we like to eat, sports we were interested in. And we just kind of gelled like that. And then we started going out. And so it wasn't necessarily a decision,
Okay.
but it was like we just became friends and it just developed from there. And obviously dude knew how to make the moves to make the relationship go to the next level. So, hey, and see, a lot of people think it's really a big deal, but when you're interested in a person and you put the Asian eyes out of the way, the accent out of the way, you really find the person and you find their heart, their intentions. It's like and almost better than the friend you found at school when you went to a new school.
Come on. Wow. I'm laughing a little bit because Sonia LeRae is saying, "Stop tiptoeing and just say it." No, that's your buddy. That's your buddy. I love Sonia LeRae. You guys stay tuned to Sonia LeRae because she's going to be on the show as well. Listen, I as you were talking, April, was going on in the back of my mind, like, Mr. Scribe was saying, and you were saying, get past the packaging. Get past, what you see on the outside, the skin color, the shape of the eyes, the shape of the nose, even the shape of the head. Some people got bigger heads than others. But anyway, I'm not saying anything about you, Mr. Scribe. I didn't say anything about. Look at him. Look at him.
I didn't say anything, but all I do when people mention this in the peripheral, I say this dome has a lot of knowledge.
I was not talking about your head, anyhow. But I was just thinking that, yeah, you're right. Outside of that, we're all the same for the most part. Because if you have, different races, and I did raise my kids in a neighborhood that it was the rainbow. The neighborhood that I specifically, I remember saying to myself, I want to live in this neighborhood because it wasn't just about black and white. There were Asian, there were Latinos, there were Indian. There were so many people in this one neighborhood that why should I be surprised that my kids, have, friends and even people that they fall in love with that do. How do you say it, Mrs. If they can't use my comb, don't bring them home. That's what you were trying to say, Mrs. Use my comb, don't bring them home. I didn't say that because I knew my sons were not, they would look at me crazy if I ever said that to them. But it's not just my sons. They have cousins that, like I said, I have a nephew who has Asian friends. I have another nephew who is about to marry a white female. I have a niece who is married to a white male. So, why should we be surprised at the generations that are below us? And the generation that you were trying to refer to is Generation X, that's under the boomers. So you go boomers, X, Y, Z. So, the Y and Z, they are just, they're like, look, mom, don't talk to us about any of this crazy stuff that you're trying to put in my head. You you made a conscious decision, and that will remind me, April, you made a conscious decision to pick the school, to pick the neighborhood where you wanted us to grow up. Why are you surprised?
Okay. Well, let me say something about two things you just said.
Sure.
Here's a little tidbit that the ladies might like, and that
Okay.
is this: when you are dating outside of your culture, your man may do your hair for you.
Woo!
Have you thought about that? And not
Girl,
only
wait.
will they do your hair, they learn, they study it.
Wow.
Oh, and watch this. Some of them can put some beauticians to shame.
Whoa! Ladies, did y'all hear that? Your man can do your hair. Huh?
Yes, yes. And another thing about interracial dating is that, I spoke before about when you're out, there's an element of safety that most people are very aware of.
Okay. Okay.
There is a serious, very serious level of, I want to make you happy and I want to protect you when you're in an interracial relationship.
Wow.
To me, it's on a different level.
Wow. Okay, now wait a minute, April. Let's unpack this a little bit. I want to get Grace's what she said on Facebook before I ask you this question here. But she said, my late son Devin's wife, my daughter-in-law is Asian and is a beautiful person, and I love her dearly. So there it is again. I personally do know Grace, and Grace raised her son the way she did. It's no, we are no longer in a society where the schools and the neighborhoods are just one culture or just one race. It's not like that anymore. Right. And then these kids are, like I said in the first break, they have this little itty handheld device that will give them access around the world. And so what I wanted to piggyback on what you were saying was, and I want to be careful, because I know that in a lot of respects, whether you are 80, whether you are 8 or 80, it's still a sensitive conversation to have about race. And I pray that the day that we can get to a place where that will go away, and perhaps it's going to happen with our younger generation, because I'm proud of them. Really, I am really proud of how much that they are making their way of people being people. We want to live with people, Mom. We're not trying to live with black people, white people. We're not trying to do that. And they do look at that way, April. They look at it as, you're stifling me, Mom, because especially for my youngest son, he has said to me over and over again, hanging out with his Latino friends, he has learned, like you said, he's learned a lot being around them and being in their households and having dinner with their mom and dads. And in some of the households, they're still speaking their native tongue, and he enjoys that. He enjoys learning different cultures as they're, going toe to toe, friend to friend, of learning from one another. So the one thing I wanted to ask you is about, that safety thing. Wow. We all know what that's all about. We can't ignore the other elephant in the room. When we look at January 6th of last year, we do know that there is still a number of people that are still, ignorant minded is what I call it. And love is not in them. That what was displayed, April, was pure hate. But what I am seeing, and if people don't really realize that the generations that are below us, they're larger than we are. Already they are saying that the Generation Y has outnumbered the baby boomers. Baby boomers were the largest number across the United States for years. Generation X never caught up. But Generation Y is 75 million. The last time I did my research, 75 million and counting. I'm sorry, they're not counting anymore because it's now at Generation Z. Generation Z is fast catching up to that 75 million and counting. And so I had one of my play nieces actually say to me, April, oh, Auntie Angie, we're just waiting on them to die off. And what she meant by that, she's part of the Z generation. What she meant by that is that they know at some point that ignorant way of thinking is going to go away, and we will be in a place and position of power where we can say, what's good, what's not good, learn from one another and become the melting pot that the American dream has always said it wanted to be. But for some reason, here we are still with ignorant minded people that still want to really hold on to the power that they think they have. And the power is only in love. That's where the power is. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
No, I was just saying too, based on what you were saying, the dynamic is that, and I know April would know this, is so deep because you have, okay, for example, I'm a big, like you said before, I'm a huge sports fan. So you have basketball players, professional athletes that are African American men, and they tend to date Caucasian women. And then you have that dynamic where I'm not trying to get, like Angie said, we're going to try to stay positive, but then that's another dynamic where you have the opinion, oh, well, they can't find a good African American woman. They gotta, because your status in society, the amount of money, there's so many different dynamics. It gets very complex because if you're playing sports, you're in a certain circle, you're around a certain type of folks, and you're interacting with different type of people. I've been to events with celebrities that have been there, and it's a whole different level of the people that you deal with, who you interact with, and that plays into it as well. Yeah, people come together because they have common, and like you was talking about, April, you have common interests, you're going to be attracted to each other. But then the dynamic with that comes with, oh, so that's the only person you could find. You couldn't find, we dealt with that too. And it's a big thing when it comes to sports, actors, actresses, all of that, besides just being ordinary folks. So it has the dynamic is, to me, it's just so much to it. It's just so much to it.
When it comes to the safety part, when someone is really into you and they really love you, they really will protect you. Okay? I know nowadays there are married people, when they go out in their vehicle, they may change the driving arrangements. So if the female is Caucasian, then she may be driving and he's sitting in the passenger seat. I will say this, there is a lot of adjusting because of the different lives and the bloodshed. But when you're in an interracial relationship, they will really protect you. If they're really interested in you, they're definitely going to protect and do things. For instance, I was asked by some ladies, or at least one lady said stuff like, I've never been approached by a guy outside my culture. Another lady was saying something like, well, are my children or my grandchildren going to get part of the inheritance? There's concern about, let me just be blunt, unnecessary things. Because when you're in a love relationship, that right there is medicine from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a real good example of protection.
Hey, okay, hold that thought, April, because we had to go to break. Hold that thought. Don't write it down because I really want to get right back into that one because listen, you guys, we've got to take our break. I hated to stop her on that track, but we definitely have to be on our break right now. But when you guys come back, please hit that share button, you guys. Hit that share button. We've got one more segment with our Loveologist, and you want to make sure that your family and friends do not miss another minute of this show. You're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the Bee. We'll be right back.
See, beard is a calling. You don't see too many images of black fatherhood portrayed in the media, but I know for a fact on the ground level, it's a lot of brothers who beat all odds and get the job done daily. The job is passing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to the next generation, despite the role you may play in the lives of the youth. I hear a lot of brothers say, well, what if I don't have a beard? It works from skin too, and the strength of a beard is manhood. What if I don't have a baby? Part of our purpose on earth is to keep the kids safe, no matter the relationship. At least that's what I thought. Our product helps spread the message around the world as a symbol of growing together.
Have you been sluggish, bloated, overweight? You could be toxic from your environment, food, and medications. It's time for a clean start. Come by or book online today.
God hates divorce, but unfortunately, some of us have gone through this traumatic experience. Hi, I'm Dr. Renee Andrews, and I'm here to offer you some solutions if you've gone through a divorce, a painful breakup, or having any relationship issues. Please get a copy of my book today, God Has a Plan for You, Life After Divorce, at godhasaplanforyou.org. Thank you.
Hi, this is Terry Cummings, formerly of the NBA, retired after 18 years, 18 seasons in the league. Just been chilling, working hard, though I think you work harder when you retire, but nevertheless running companies, pastoring 14 years, CEO over a hybrid of a television station of cable and streaming, and finally pushing toward the bid for the Hall of Fame. Level up and join us.
Hey, this is Rodney Damon Collins, inviting you to level up.
Hey, this is Shay Bynes with Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur. Let's level up. Tune in every Sunday.
Hi, this is Pat Nash, your dream coach. Want to take your dreams to the next level? Then listen to Level Up each and every Sunday. I am.
Hello there. I'm April, the Loveologist at the Authentic Love Academy. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with the real talk that takes you higher. We're just ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Oh my gosh. I just got to say, y'all, I love April's voice. I just love her voice, man.
Thank you.
And I have to say, April, because we didn't say it in the pre-show, but I don't mind saying it to the whole world. When I hear you guys do those drops, the drops for me, it's like another hug. So, even when I don't have you on the show, I still get to hear your voice when those drops come through. I love those drops. So, Sonia LeRae, I'm giving you a heads up. Anyway, I got a comment from Sonia LeRae, and I also got one from Starlight Diva. Starlight is on, you guys. She's on our YouTube page. And yes, we are watching your questions and comments on both platforms. So Starlight Diva, that's on our YouTube page, she is saying, my future daughter-in-law, Caucasian, is amazing. She has a beautiful heart. I'm excited about their future union. You better go there. I'm telling you, that is an amazing story. I would love to get your story, Starlight Diva. Also, Sonia LeRae, she is just giving us the business, you guys. She says, yes, because it must be a shift in mindset and not keep perpetuating a stereotype in the concept and approach to love. You better say that, Miss Sonia LeRae. Let me tell you guys, these ladies right here, I've met them on the app that's called Clubhouse. You guys definitely go check them out. We're going to give April an opportunity where you guys can find her, listen to her on these apps. And you know what, April, before we go back into our conversation, can you give us that information now, and then we'll circle back around toward the end? Where can they find you?
Sure, you can find me on Clubhouse at the Authentic Love Academy. You can also find me on Instagram at the Authentic Love Academy. Also, Instagram is a great place for you to message me, especially if you'd like to work with me. Also, I am on YouTube at the Authentic Love Academy. And on Facebook, you can find me at Authentic Love, or you can find me at my group on Facebook, which is Authentic Love, where people are getting wisdom nuggets for interracial dating.
Wow. So there you have it, you guys. Check her out. Even outside of this show, you guys, you definitely want to follow her on each of her social medias. We do have a link to her name in the comment sections, you guys. So you guys can check her out there. Can they start there, April, with that link, and then follow you all throughout your other social media? Okay.
Yes. And
all right.
On Instagram, there's a link tree that'll take them to several things.
Okay. There you go. There you guys go. So you guys definitely follow her there. Well, let's get right back into this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about love, in particular about, look at your girl, Sonya LaRae. She already sent it. She's got it all there. That's
all
your
over
girl.
it.
I love me some Sonya LaRae. You guys tune in and check her out. She will be coming up on the show soon as well. But April, I want to, circle back around into what we were talking about before the break, and you were about to go in on us. Do you happen to remember what you were going to say?
Yes, because I wrote it down. We were talking about safety, and a lot of people are concerned about their safety. If you're in an interracial relationship, in the relationship, there is safety. But you have to be concerned about what's going on outside the relationship. So one of the things about safety is you also want to pay attention to your vetting process. Okay? So that you can screen out those who may be already planning some type of issue. Okay? You want to be very wise about vetting. I share with people how they can do their vetting better so that they can eliminate those problem dates, shall I say, or persons. Okay? Another example that I want to give you about some safety and about the fact that the persons that you are dating or about to marry in an interracial relationship, they'll do things to protect you. For instance, I know of a couple, they went to meet his family.
Okay.
And when they went to meet his family, I was not given exactly what was said, but something was said that was in the wrong vein. Dude would not take her back to his family events ever again.
Wow.
He wants to protect her. He wants her to be safe. He wants her to feel comfortable. Here's another situation that I know of. This couple was about to get married. They already had the stuff planned and, they were about to get married. Well, obviously he had not a clue that in his inheritance, there was something in there that said that if he married a black girl, he couldn't get his inheritance. Wow. He didn't have a clue. But dude loves you. He wants you. He wants his inheritance too. He's going to protect you. What they do? They chill, don't get married.
Wow.
Because obviously whoever the inheritance was coming from was at a state in their life that all they had to do was chill until the inheritance was secured.
Wow. Now you just shared with us two of the most real talk that takes you higher, you guys. Real talk that takes you higher. That's all I can say, because, and I wanted to ask you, April, if you don't mind sharing, was this within the year, 2 years? Was it a long time ago? Are we still talking, having these kind of talks in the year 2022?
We're still having them. One of the reasons that we're still having to deal with different things like this is because there is a section of people in the world who teach to their family, to their children, to their grandchildren, the negativity about interracial anything. Just being plain and honest, the KKK still exists and they do what they do.
Ugh.
But if we are alert, we pay attention, we can pretty much be safe. But there's always something that may pop up. I can't guarantee it for you, but there's something that may pop up. But there's things that may pop up in a traditional relationship as well.
Mm-hmm. True.
So having that bond, that communication that is necessary in any relationship. But in this type of relationship, the communications are going to go to other things, okay? Like how you feel. I know a lot of the younger ladies, when bloodshed happened, a lot of younger ladies were just literally freaking out. And so they had to communicate with their spouses. And a lot of times, another thing that I heard a lady say was, well, I've heard several ladies say this one. They just can't understand me. You'd be surprised how calm they are and how listening they are and how much they want to understand how you feel about various things. They love you. They want you to be happy. They want you to be safe. They want to understand you and they want to be understood as well. But we have a lot of myths. We have a lot of ideas that we have come up with without knowing, without being in the culture, without asking the questions.
Right.
And we're allowing them to cause us to act a certain way. And a lot of times that certain way is not how God wants us to act.
What I'm learning from the conversation is that what you're hitting on, April, is there's elements, I'm married now, but there's elements, if I was a single man, that I could take from what you're saying as far as how to be with somebody, whether she's African American or to love someone where even if she's African, we're the same culture. I want to protect her like that. I want to treat her like that. Because sometimes I see that in relationships with same race, I don't see that love like that, like what you're saying on the internet. So it's got elements to it where if it was brought over to that side, it would enhance a lot of relationships. And just me going back to my mindset, isn't that how God intended it for it to be? When he created us, we're all different, and he created the love that should make a difference. But we all know the backstory why that's not the way it is. But his intention was, doesn't matter color, size, whatever. It's just the love that brings people together. And if I love her and she doesn't look like anybody else, doesn't make a difference. He loves someone, doesn't make a difference who she loves, who he loves, because that's how God intended it. We messed all that up. But a lot of the elements that you're talking about, if it was flipped over to the other side, man, it would alleviate a lot of issues and things that we're dealing with right now. It would take away
those packages
a lot.
You want.
Well,
you
that's
can
true.
have those
But
packages you want.
Being an African American man, I heard, barbershop stories of how to treat a woman, whether she be, or you hear like you said, the myths. Black women are like this, white women are like this. And I heard all the rhetoric being a male. Oh, if you date outside, oh, she gonna be submissive. She gonna do whatever you want, and all of these myths that I really didn't believe, because a person is a person. I've always believed that since I was a teenager. A person is a person. Yeah, you can label and do all those types of things, but at the end of the day, I'm talking to another human being. I'm not talking to an object. But in our culture, I'm not even gonna get into it, where the African American male looks at things in a certain manner. So it's good to have you here to educate folks and to let people know that it's not like that. And men and women, because I know a lot of the examples you use on the women's side, but I know you deal with the male side as well, whether it be African American males or Caucasian males. So I understand that as well.
Yes, yes. And I really love talking to people and sharing with them things that, shall I say, bust their myths and things that they have in their mind. Because, you know, we don't have to be all stressed out and in the negative, okay? When we can have nice, peaceful, loving, every human being, regardless to what their skin is doing, wants love.
True.
Not only do they want love, they want authentic love.
Well, okay, so April, let's unpack that a little bit. So when you say authentic love, you know, kind of break that down for our audience.
Authentic love is when you meet someone, you become friends, and you find yourself comfortable, not having to hold back things.
Wow.
You're authentic, you yourself. You're not saying, "Oh well, I'm gonna keep this away from them or this information away from them on purpose." And that's one of the things that really happens in a lot of interracial relationships. People who've been married for a while, one of the things you're going to hear them say is when they first started dating, even some of them say on their first date, "I just felt so comfortable."
Wow.
And we're talking about in a situation where you don't expect to feel comfortable, but they're saying, "I felt so comfortable. I felt like I could just talk to him about whatever."
Wow. Wow.
You're being authentic yourself and giving of yourself.
Okay.
Sharing
Good point.
information or sharing gifts or whatever you're doing, you are being you.
You know, April, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, those are some amazing you know, takeaways for our audience. You know, because people want to, you know, I've experienced where people have fallen in love with love and not the person. And, you know, they will hold back on who they are instead of being their true self with that person. I remember feeling that way with my husband of 26 years. You know, the first time that we actually went out on a date, because we were around each other for a while before we even went out on a date. And that first date, I mean, April, it was like I knew him for like ages, you know, and it was, you're right. It was natural. It was comfortable. It was fun. I couldn't wait till the next day, you know, and then we got to the point where we were inseparable in that first year. Well, now, you know, it ain't like that now.
You have that emotional connection now, and it's very strong.
But to your point, Angie, to your point, Angie, what April was saying, I could see that because there's so many, and April knows because she's the loveologist with the dating and stuff, where people bring, like Chris Rock would talk about it. You bring the facade, you bring who you think that they want to be with, and that's the person you present, as opposed to just like, well, we on a date, we're having a good time, and you know, when you feel authentic, you know it. You know it because when it hits you, you might not know exactly what it is, but you, oh man, I just feel so. And you could, and when you become your authentic self, the bond is cemented so much stronger because you know this person is reciprocating. This person really is interested in what I'm saying, and they're listening to me. I'm listening to them, and it just feels right. And to me, that's what God intended for it to feel like. And that's why, like she said, a lot of those relationships last a long time because I watch a lot of those court shows and stuff on TV. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. And the one thing the judge will say when these relationship things come on is be who you are, or don't marry who you think they're going to be. Whoever's standing in front of you, deal with the reality. A lot of people deal with the ideal and the expectation of what they want. And then when they finally get to know them, wow, this person's not, they're nowhere near what I thought they was going to, because you was dealing with them on that level. When you deal with a person with What do I need to find out? They were who they were. I know who they are because I've been dealing with the real person from the beginning. So there's no surprises.
Right.
And you grow together.
You know,
You can grow together. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, a lot of couples have these issues with, oh, don't look at my phone and all of this kind of stuff. Who calling you? When you got an authentic love,
come on,
it's
April.
not. Don't look at my phone. It's here.
Preach.
Find whoever you want to find in my phone. Okay.
Preach. Preacher.
Oh, where am I going? I'm going. Yes, where I'm going, there is going to be a lady there, but she is just a friend of mine. My other buddies are going to be there. If you want to come, you can come, but you may not like the conversation because we're going to talk business. But when you got when you got authentic stuff going on, you do away with that mess.
Yeah, you do.
Do away with
I mean,
that mess.
you really do. And even if April, I'll put this out there. Even if you had a bump in the road, you'll even get over the bump in that road because maybe perhaps that person lost his head or lost her head at the moment, but because of the authenticity of the love that began in the beginning, you can get through just about anything. I can name a couple of things that we have gone through, my husband and I, but that right from the beginning, like I knew, like he knew it before I did. But then once I finally caught on, and I definitely got to ask the brothers. I can't wait till I have more brothers on to ask them this though. But since I got the two of you guys there, I have always felt that the man knows before the woman, as far as if this is going to be for the rest of their lives, or if this is going to take it to the next level. The man knows first, because I had an idea. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
No. I was waiting. Go ahead, April. I think you had something that you wanted.
Go ahead, April. Yes,
I was just in agreement with her. Go ahead.
No, I was thinking. Yeah, as men, I'm thinking back to when I met my wife, my now wife, and you're right, Angee, because as we started to date, and I was just because I had decided, being single and divorced and all of that I was going to be not. You can't be super transparent because nobody can know everything about you. But I was going to be transparent when I started dating. I was going to share who I am. If I'm vulnerable, if I'm this, I got you're soft, you're this, you're that. But once I did that, you're right. Once I knew how she reciprocated, it led me in the mindset, okay, this is somebody that I could see our relationship moving to. And when you communicate and when you feel that way, those bumps are going to come where you're not going to get along, you're not going to agree. But I can look beyond that and know that, okay, it's a rough time right now. I may not want to speak to her for a little time, but I can see beyond that. I don't see where a lot of men do. I'm just speaking as an African American man.
Right.
Difficult times come. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna step outside, or I'm a create a situation which drives me to do something outside that I shouldn't be doing, as opposed to it's a rough patch. We're going through a rough thing, but I can see beyond what's happening now to know that it's a temporary situation. We're going to kind of separate for a little bit and give each other our own space, but then we're eventually going to talk it out. Apologies happen, and the conversation happens, and it's put behind us. So,
but no,
when you
guys were first, when you guys were first, date, like, did you know, like right off the bat, you were the first one that knew that she was going to be your wife?
I kind of knew as we were going through the dating process. We dated for 2 years, and as we was going through the dating process, I started to feel that that this is somebody that I wanted to be with. And then she also let me know, we have been dating for 2 years. Okay, what's up, brother? What you gonna do?
That's the ball.
We've been dating
for 2 years, and we're older too. So that was another dynamic to the relationship because we were both older, and she said, "I ain't got no time to wait." But you're right, Angel. I did feel that way. I'm just making. If she heard me, she probably didn't take it. She's in another room right now. She hear me talk. She might go off on me, but
Be careful, she in another room. Anyway, what were you gonna
There
say,
you go.
April? What were you gonna say, April? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, typically the men know, and this thing where they know right off the bat, some of them, because they know what they've been looking for. When they find it, they know that they found what they've been looking for. And the thing is, as ladies, you don't want to jump the gun because he's looking, he sees, he feels like he's found what he's looking for. But men are not crazy. They're also going to test the waters to make sure that you're what they're looking for. Or do they need to keep on pushing and keep looking?
That is absolutely the loveologist she on point.
Yeah.
The loveologist is so on point because yes, you're dating them. You're not going out there trying to, but you are, hey, I want to be absolutely sure. So, somebody else might try to talk to you because I know life is funny because a lot of times when you're focused on one person, that's when everybody want to talk to you. When you by yourself, don't nobody want to talk to you. You just by yourself. It's like, you know what? Nobody calling, I'm not bumping into anybody. As soon as I think she's the one. Everybody coming at you left and right. And as a man, okay, she's coming at me. I'm not even interested. I mean, I'm not even turning to look. I can hear her speaking, but she don't have my attention. And when the one that you want to be with has your attention, you have tunnel vision. And I felt that before when you have tunnel vision.
And see, when you're in an interracial relationship, you have to remember when they cross the line, see, you don't know how their family has been or what they've had to deal with. And you don't know how long they've been interested in people from other cultures.
Wow.
So you have to remember somewhere in your head, whether it's the back or the front, that if they're crossing the line and they're legit, okay, they have counted up the cost, or at least they've tried to count up the cost. So if you're a black man and you're interested in a woman from another culture and she's actually allowing you to be in her space to talk to her, she's already counted up the cost and she's making a decision, or she's already made the decision. Am I ready to deal with the outside factors?
Wow.
Is this guy really what I've been looking for? And the other way around, if the guy's coming across the line, he done counted up the cost. He know he's got to man up and have his shield of faith up and all that good stuff.
She coming with it. She come and April 100%. You wanted 100% from the male perspective. You're right. And what happens when people get distracted and things like that, it wasn't real from the beginning, because if you was that easily swayed, then you really wasn't into it at all. Whether you cross that line or whether you just dealing with, as a man, because that's how most of us think. Most of us think that way.
Wow. Well, from Starlight Diva, she's saying, preach, teach, and reach, April. Also from Mary Gooseby, she's saying that she thinks so too, and I think she's actually just talking about when we were discussing about, does the man know before the woman? I've always had that. I've experienced it, a few times, because I've been proposed to 3 times actually. Only married once, but proposed 3 times, and I wasn't. Well, girl, I don't know about that now, but I was just amazed because I've said this many times to my best friend. I was the female. I was the little girl that was not NOT, you guys, not looking for that knight in shining armor. I was the very opposite. So I was the one that said, I don't need a man. I can get everything on my own. Then in walks Torrance L. Scott. God has a funny way. Messed it all up. But anyway, look, we've been married, like I said, you guys, for this is our 26th year. It's been a marriage of bliss. April, thank you so much for coming on our show and just, sharing your heart, your wisdom, your love, just like you have done on many, many of your platforms. Please tell us again, for those who are listening, give a shout out to your girl, Sonia LaRae. She has actually put in the links, you guys, in the comment section, so you guys check that out where you can find April. Go ahead, April, for our listening audience.
Well, you can find me over on Clubhouse. We're there on Tuesday evenings at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. This week, we're going to talk about roses, giving, receiving roses. Are you sending a mixed signal? And that's at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time on Tuesday. I'm also on Instagram. I have a link tree there where you can find my course that I have available right now. It's titled Shifting into Loveology. Also, you can, maybe you prefer not to have a course and you would like to have one-on-one time with me. I also have that available. So you can actually message me in the inbox of Instagram or the back channel of Clubhouse or in Facebook. I'm on Facebook at Authentic Love, Acquiring Wisdom Nuggets for Interracial Dating. That's my Facebook group. But my Facebook page is Authentic Love. You can also find me on YouTube at the Authentic Love Academy. So I know that a lot of people, when it comes to talking about their personal business, about their relationships, they want to keep it personal. I'm a minister. I know about dealing with ministers. They need to keep it private and personal. So I have an offer that you can work with me and do one-on-one, or you could actually take my new little course that is Shifting into Loveology. So I just want to make myself available. I really appreciate you allowing me to speak in such a public platform, because a lot of people need to know that, yes, I am available. And I know that you are out there, and I know that you want interracial dating. And I know that a lot of people have wanted to date outside their race since they were children in elementary school.
Wow.
Now things are breaking up. The society's getting better at it. And I would love to help you to connect with the love of your life so that you can say, I do at the altar. I'm April the Loveologist. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that is it for our show, you guys.
And we know that. And Angee, we know that before we go, because all them hearts behind her in her background lets us know she's the Loveologist.
Well, as you guys know Miss April, the Loveologist. Check her out on any of her platforms, you guys. She is very, very responding to each and every one of the people that I have, been aware of. She's very responding, you guys. So, check her out. Definitely listen to her on Clubhouse. That's where I connected with her. Thanks to Sonia LaRae. She has put all of the links in the comment section on Facebook, and we've also got some information on our YouTube page where you can find her. What I want to remind everyone, our audience, next week will not be another live show. We will be in front of our big screen television watching the Super Bowl with our family. So family first, always here at the Real Level Up. We will be back for another amazing show. And guess who's going to be on? Sonia LaRae. You don't want to miss Miss Sonia LaRae, February 20th. You're going to enjoy her as well. Another love show. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will see you February 20th. You're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. See you on February 20th. Love you, mean it. Take care.
suddenly I'm in a daze when I think about you, babe. Chills are running up my spine, make me wanna run and hide. People say to let you go. If only everyone could know. If they could understand my need, they would want you bad as me. I never had a love like yours before. Want you more. Never had enough. How I need you. How I need you. Can't get enough of your love, babe. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? 'Cause I'm needing you. Show me that you do. Can't get enough of your love, baby. Baby, baby. Oh yeah. Ooh, you take me to another world. I know that I'm your favorite girl. But why do I deserve your love? And why do I deserve your trust? I got you loving me for me, with all my flaws and everything. I can't explain the joy you bring. I need you in my life. Ooh, you make me wanna be a better version of me, with the things you say and the things you do. And you make me feel so real and so brand new. How I love you, babe, how I do. Love like yours, never had a love. You more. How I need you, how I need you. Can't get enough of you. I can't get enough. Feel it too. Do you feel it? 'Cause I'm needing you. Oh yeah, do. Can't get enough of your love, baby. Ooh, you make me wanna be a better version of me, with the things you say and the things you do. And you make me feel so real and so brand new. How I love you, babe, how I do. You make me wanna be a better version of me, with the things you say and the things you do. And you make me feel so real and so new. Love like yours, I never had a love. You more. How I need you, how I need you. Love of your love, I can't get enough. Your love, babe, your love, babe, your love, too. Can't get enough of your love, babe. I can't get enough. Oh, 'cause you make me feel so real. Yeah.
I ain't protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time now. You can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time. No, you can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, spinning round like a carousel. Never sick, still looking well. They help me win on the battlefield. And I tell the truth like a tattletale. And I'm out of jail like I'm out on bail. And I don't feel like I don't tell the whole truth. Without Christ, it's like a ship without a sail. Look, back in the day, lacking away, I just happened to pray. After the day, he just happened to say he loves me. Defeated my enemies like an animal. Attacking the prey, they say he evil. Jesus, he just wanna save people. Ain't no way we gonna stay equal. Grab your wings and soar with the eagles. Protected by the shield and by the sword. Every blessing that you got comes by the Lord. He got keys to the gates and keys to death and hell and the grave. He'll set you free like you was a slave. You'll run real fast like you was the I am protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time now. You can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time, no, you can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected in this bubble like bubble wrap. He's knocking on the door of your heart like double tap. Praise him twice, double clap. He just set up a double trap. The enemy fell in and God chopped him with his double axe. Facts, all of the chains he is breaking it. Satan's kingdom he is shaking it. All this evil I am forsaking it. The kingdom of heaven I'm making it. Made in Satan, hating, blessings. You know I'm gon' rake in. Ain't going nowhere, they all stay in. If you wonder where I'm at, I'm gon' face in. It's water. Oh yes, no stress, and he will bless you, bless. Holiness, holiness, I roll with the Lord, ain't no loneliness. Only this power of God I am holding it. Taking my freedom back, I am not lonely yet. I am protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time now. You can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected. You can't touch me. I'm resurrected. You can't crush me. I'm taking my time. No, you can't rush me. I'm in this bubble. You can't bust me. Oh, I'm protected.
You and I have to let the man know is we are peaceful people. We are loving people. We love everybody who loves us. But we don't love anybody who doesn't love us. We're nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with us. But we are not nonviolent with anyone who is violent with us.
History, life in quarantine. Nowhere to hide, it's worldwide. We can agree to disagree, but it don't matter now. This is life. We can chill face to face and debate what is fact and what is been a lie. And go hard with the truth, yet be brutalized. When it's all said and done, what we have and what we want won't bring back alive. All we really need to do is hang on and speak life.
To bring about the complete